widely listened to on phones, computers, and MP3 players. But let's not forget the pioneer in music recording, the gramophone. The gramophone is any sound recording device that plays previously recorded sounds, especially if it uses a flat spinning disc. The phonograph, created by Thomas Edison, is the first kind of sound recording device. The gramophone is an improved version of the phonograph. Emil Berliner, a German-American inventor, was granted his first patent on the gramophone. It had all similar characteristics as Edison's phonograph, except it used metal discs that were engraved with modulation of recorded sound instead of wax or tin foil cylinders. The five main parts of the gramophone are: record, which stores sound; turntable. This device rotates the record. The spindle is found inside the gramophone and runs with a belt; stylus, which reads the music; and a horn, used to project sound.
Let's rush through the process of making the vinyl record. Step 1 is making a lacquer disc. Lacquers, which are available in different sizes, are composed of polished aluminum discs which are coated with nitrocellulose acetate. They are soft and fragile and thus used for mastering. Step 2 is the recording, also known as the mastering process. Sound waves from a speaking person or a musical instrument travel through air and pass through the horn. The horn, as can be observed, narrows and ends at the back of the needle. According to the equation of continuity, with decreasing area, velocity increases, and at the tip of the horn, the velocity achieved imparts enough momentum to the back of the needle to carve grooves into the rotating lacquer disc. Depth of the groove depends on the intensity of sound. With variation in sound waves, the depth of the groove changes. In this way, the music or sound is stored analogously, and we obtain the master disc. It can be used directly for listening, but due to being fragile, it gets worn out and thus vinyl records are produced. Step 3 is to create the metal master. Lacquer disc is cleaned and sanded. It is sprayed with silver to make it electrically conducting for electroplating with nickel. Lacquer disc and nickel are separated, as can be seen in the picture, and we get the metal master, also called as the father. The lacquer disc is rendered useless, thus metal master is unique and cannot be reproduced. During the electrolytic process, the nickel fills the space on the disc. In the lacquer disc, there are grooves. The metal master has the spikes. In general, a disc which has grooves is positive because it resembles the original lacquer disc, and a disc which has spikes is negative because it is opposite in nature and is used to create positive. This is an example of a metal master. Step 4. Metal master is electroplated to obtain the mother. We can use the metal master multiple times to reproduce mother. Mother is a positive copy with grooves. This is an example of mother. Step 5. The mother is electroplated to obtain the stamper or slave or son. It is a negative copy. This is used to stamp the record into vinyl. Due to continuous use, it becomes unusable and new are produced from the mother. Step 6. A vinyl is actually polyvinyl chloride, a plastic. The desired color is chosen and put in the record making machine. The load is heated and melted and given the size and shape of hockey puck. Puck-shaped vinyl is stamped at high pressure by the stamper to give it the shape, and the record is reprinted on it. The excess vinyl is cut, which is reused. The disc gets cooled and stacked. Each of them is inspected. And tada! We get a record.
How are records played? The turntable is a circular plate on which the record sits. A rod positioned in the center holds the record in place. Metal turntable is covered in rubber or plastic, which protects the record from being scratched. The turntable rotates or spins with the help of either a belt drive or belt drive system. The stylus or needle is the smallest and perhaps the most important component of the record player. It is made from a diamond or any other hard material, shaped like a cone and suspended by a flexible strip of metal. The pointed end is the only piece that touches the top of the record, and it rides around the spiraling grooves of the disc, picking up vibrations which are ultimately turned back into sound. The stylus sits at one end of the tone arm, which is mounted to the side of the turntable and sits parallel to the record. With the needle or stylus placed in the outermost groove of the record, the tone arm follows the groove and spirals inward, traveling across the record in an arc as the record spins beneath it. As this happens, vibrations travel along a flexible metal strip and wires housed in the tone arm to the cartridge in the end of the tone arm. The needle runs along the groove, jolting up and down. As it moves about, it vibrates, and the noise of its vibrations is amplified by the horn, recreating the sound of the person's voice.
Now we'll show you how gramophone gives an output, that is how we can hear the sound when we attach a needle to the record. Let's move to see what is the structure of a horn normally. So there is a diaphragm at the left which can vibrate and produce sound, and then the diaphragm is inside the neck of the throat of the horn. Now we will see how horn is attached to the needle. The needle or stylus is attached to a metal arm which is directly attached to a diaphragm in the horn. As the stylus vibrates, the diaphragm vibrates and that amplifies the sound with the horn. Normally without horn also the sound is produced by the diaphragm but is at low volume because needle vibration is less, so diaphragm vibrates at a less amplitude. So sound is also low, and to amplify that sound, horn is attached in the front of the diaphragm. Now we will see how amplification is done. So the larger the radiating diaphragm of the speaker, the more air will be moved and the greater will be sound energy. However, large diaphragms are inconvenient and heavy. By using a flat transmission channel, means due to expanded shape of a horn, you can imagine that the air at the neck of the horn is vibrated due to diaphragm, and then the whole air medium in the horn is vibrated. And as the horn is expanding, at the end it vibrates a large volume of air, which increases the sound. Means it doesn't let energy randomly transfer anywhere, but it channels it. Means it gives path for energy or sound to transfer.
Today, as the music recording industry continues to improve, the gramophone is being replaced by other more efficient devices. However, many people still use it for its originality and personal touch. Thank you.